continue to be, and once more, consistently been that is a fair assessment in which LeBron was wrong. However, we are so far removed from that point at this juncture in the timeline, it's borderline irrelevant.
I'm here for all of this. Yeah, we just gonna go along with it. Open the night, I'm talking. Open the night. And we just gonna go along with it. Or you hearing the Lakers are just going along with it. You're hearing this stuff. Now, I'm not saying they told me that, meaning the commissioner or Genie Plus, but I'm saying you're hearing that from those organizations. So I'm getting all of this. One of those cats here. King Griffey, see you, Junior, who all sorry, all of favor. And King Griffey Jr. get taken up there. Again, I've been covering 30 years, not NBA sports. You understand? So how you think it's all looking to me? It's a little bit too far. But I'm still. Congratulations. You know what I'm saying?
Now, this is the part where I agree with him that at the end of the day, that's how this whole sport about being fake and phony with the other malarkey. Does it now justify however you decide to cover it when there's new information provided? As he continues to go about this, let me further add new details to everything that has occurred since then, in particular with the draft. The draft with the overall pick. That's literally where everybody said that he was going to go. He was going to go, at best, late second round. Also, there were a bunch of people sitting to talk about, allegedly, like you said, some questionable reporting on if teams like Boston, Phoenix, and Golden State, if they were actually entertaining if Bronny was going to get drafted, or they were just trying to make it sound fly to make it seem as if like he actually. So the fact of the matter is, we are now at a point where some of the comments that were being made about Bronny might have actually been justified, because if you were having any interest in Bronny, he actually would be a better prospect than the Knicks.
God dang it, I'm dead.
Tyrese and them gave it to him. And then they plaster on SportsCenter 0.3 points, 0.3 rebounds, 0.4 assists, blah, blah, blah. And I said, damn. Why? Because I'm like, now I can't ignore it. Because if now you put me in a position where, because they put the stats, everyone is blowing it up and putting it on all their social media pages. And it's like, all of that's happening, but Stephen A. Smith got nothing to say. You can't get away with it no more.
So this is the other part that is just so disgusting and disingenuous. And this is where Stephen A. Smith, you lose me with a lot of this. I'm the media. I cover the media. Y'all just talk about the media. And so the standard in which I speak about it is higher than everybody else. And that's why I'm in a different echelon about that. You lose me with that shit when you talk about what's going on in Bronny's career, as if like there isn't nuance and details that need to be outlined about it. The way that Stephen A. Smith breaks this down, he's breaking it down as if like he's giving you all of the necessary details that led up to that game against the Philadelphia 76ers, which he's not. Stephen A. Smith talks about he's playing, and he's playing, and he's playing in long minutes. Playing what damn fuck plays.
Bronny James has played in 13 NBA games. Ladies and gentlemen, he's averaging 0.3 points, 0.3 assists, and 0.4 rebounds.
Usually, this is something close up. They're here playing 1 or 2 minutes in a game that's already been decided. Emptying out your bench. Nigga, that is not a representation of who that player is, because they're out there playing 1 minute or 2 of basketball. Second, there was no discussion about the fact that in that game against the Sixers, Gabe Vincent is out, Vanderbilt is out, and in that game. If you're going to sit here and talk about Bronny, the defensive player, why the hell are you talking about his scoring numbers before in front of me? If you believe it's your responsibility to talk about his numbers, then why the hell are you not talking about his numbers in the G League when it would have justified him getting a little bit more burn in the NBA? Why are you not talking about the fact that he gets off of the best game of his G League career when the game before in the G League put up like 31 points and 3 steals? Why didn't you talk about that? So you context of, hey, the numbers that ESPN right now putting up on the screen, it's unfair because Phil playing blowout minutes. Hey, the reason why he may have gotten into the game is because XYZ players are hurt and he need a defensive-oriented player. Hey, we're talking about his numbers. Us speaking points doesn't really make any sense because he's a defensive-oriented player. Hey, we also got to take into consideration that he's getting some more reps in the league because he's actually killing it in the G League. Hey, and the Lakers do this all the time. You can go to the Lakers roster right now, and there's like a handful of players who only play a game or two here and there because the Lakers all season long have been trying to round out their lineup or their bench with a bunch of players who play in the G League. So Barney really and truly isn't that far from being in the NBA. Especially that all the time he's playing blowout minutes. That's what he's doing. So they even portray this as something as, oh, look at how bad he's playing in the NBA, but not talking about what he's doing in the G League with more reps. Minutes. It's crazy. Talk about what somebody does in the last 2 to 3 minutes of a blowout game. We'll talk about when they were 30+ minutes in the G League that they were justifying a game is crazy. And even when he's played much better in the NBA, post that game, niggas still don't talk about it. So still it's bullshit about this show. This you're not talking about any other second round pick. No niggas ain't really talking about anybody in this draft, first or second. And if you were, then you would be talking about great so they used to do it. But you niggas not talking about that. Secondly, you said it. You just said this before. Yeah, it's all on. Everybody talking about it's percolating. It's all over social media. Hey, Stephen A. Smith decided to report on this on ESPN and on his channel. Very important information. And the reason for that is because, too, throughout this last week, he attempted to release any responsibility for what Stephen A. Smith decides to do. He continued to talk about how get players what they're really upset about is social media. Anybody who's pick up a microphone and talk about, hey, social media. But what the players have done, adroitly, I might add, is lump it all in the same bowl as an excuse to point the finger. In today's generation, you've got all of these colleges, TMCs, and everything, and employers never ever specify. They lump on purpose because it's a way for them to escape accountability. You may not be too familiar with how this game works. That may have came across as a valid point. To see someone who is very well versed in media, especially in the standpoint, it's contradictory. See, on one hand, you can't sit here and remove yourself from your responsibility and claiming that, oh, y'all get caught up in social media. And social media, depending on what's trending on social media, dictates what you won't talk about on ESPN. See, that's two different things. And Stephen A. Smith, the reason why it's important to highlight that you talk about it on ESPN and your own show, because in your own show, as an independent media now, you ain't got no boss hovering over you to do what you gotta talk about. All the decisions about what you want to talk about there yourself. So when you had the free will to talk about anything you wanted to on your own show, still following that day, talking about the same events and still lacking the context of the project. Ladies and gentlemen, he's averaging 0.3 points, 0.3 assists, and 0.4 rebounds. He's shot 1 for 16 from the field in his NBA career, and 0 for 7 from 3-point range of an NBA game. So, of course, if I'm an NBA player, it's easy for me to mix up the two because both of y'all niggas talk the same. The media and social media all have the same talking points. Further, just put the money point aside. Everyone comparing Darvin Ham's record last year in the first 20-25 games to JJ Redick's record in the first 20 or 25 games. That's from social media. Social media was the first one on Twitter in particular. That was the first time I ever seen people sitting there counting the numbers every single day. It's 17 and 18. It's 18 and 19. It's 18 and 21. And that was the first time I had ever seen that. That's a social media talking. I've been behind the scenes with some of these networks. I know for a irrefutable fact that they use some of the things that are posted on Twitter as talking points on what they decide to go in the next day. That's an irrefutable fact.
Put in your hair. Bash, go put the nuggets out.
That's what they really do. By a parody Twitter account. That's how we know you niggas use Twitter.
Turn off and
So
off.
spare me with the bullshit
Prepare y'all
about,
place.
oh, y'all get us all
Okay.
mixed up. You can't get the media mixed up with social media. Nigga, the media talking points, what they decide to discuss, how they gauge what's rating fairly is based off of social media. Because even in that game when Bronny played that poorly, y'all could have led with anything else. Y'all could have led with how great Tyrese Maxey was, or you could have led with the fact that Anthony Davis got hurt, and come to find out that was actually the last game that AD played as a Laker. But that's what you could have led with. That's a much more compelling and impactful story than the 4 or 5 minutes that Bronny played in the first quarter. Like, be fucking for real.
Somebody want to play with their brother like that. You want no show? Hey, guys, I said you take that goddamn wrong. Somebody you love. When J.R. Smith and Chris Smith.
Now, this right here is where it gets so disingenuous and so nasty. Say shit about masks and social media and him playing and sticking it up for the walking nuts over the past game for you. No one said anything about that at all. If anything, people go out of their way to try to justify why that man was on the Bucks, even though we all know he was not qualified to be in the NBA whatsoever.
He got criticized for that. Yes. In the media like every day like he is. Well, there's that.
Thank you. Thank you. It's not the same. And I don't remember giving anybody space. And again, Stephen A. said, it's your job. Remember? It's your job. Because we gotta have this fucking conversation. Like, we're not doing it because of the it's your job. Why can't we never talk about the nasty? We never talked about that shit. What's crazy, most of y'all don't even know this, but a couple of years ago, Milwaukee had a freak night. They may always have this, but I remember it being their freak night. At this celebrating some analysis after the game, had a bunch of other people share the nationality of both Giannis and the national team. The son of the national anthem is a very, very beautiful story. They had their tweets all in Greek as well. It was really very good personal. It's bad too because the Nas was there solely because his brother is Giannis. That's the only thing they decided to starting lineup. Giannis does not deserve to be the starting five. At this point, bro, the Bucks get straight in close. We're trying to win the championship run, and they put him out there in the starting five. Tip-off played about 4 minutes, subbed him out to put in Brook Lopez, and yes, Brook Lopez was available. Subbed him out to put in Brook Lopez, and he never touched the floor ever again. Do you know what First Take decided to lead with the very next show they had? I can't even make this up. I promise you I cannot make this up. Stephen A. still picks LeBron over Patrick Mahomes as the MVP of all of sports. They just made up a topic to put LeBron in after that happened. Let's be fucking real with ourselves here. People are talking about it because it's LeBron's son. Spare me with this whole the way that he did it, and I'm pretty sure that there's certainly add the level of heightened criticism behind it. But if Bronny played in Utah, niggas
How to use PS5 camera.
Alright guys, if you've got a PS4 camera,
You know me. It's gotta match.
if he's stream from your PS5 and you want to start using a webcam, the Sony PlayStation 5 is pretty not the best, but with proper lighting, you can get it to look pretty good. I'm using 2 lights to be able to go ahead and light myself right now. To settings, and then you want to scroll down to where it says capture and broadcast, and then under broadcast, you want to come to where it says camera. And once you go ahead and press camera, it's going to go ahead and bring up the actual camera. So you can see here that the picture quality is, and then under broadcast, you want to come to, let's go ahead and jump into the PS5 and see how this webcam looks. So on your PlayStation 5, you can come to settings, and then you want to scroll down to where it says capture and broadcast. And then under broadcast, you want to come to where it says camera. And once you go ahead and press camera, it's going to go ahead and bring up the actual camera. So you can see here that the picture quality is pretty decent. It's not the best, but with proper lighting, you can get it to look pretty good. I'm using 2 lights to be able to go ahead and light myself right now. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the features that you get here. So the initial thing you can do is with the size, you can adjust it to be medium or be small. So you can decide on that. Now, the clipping mask, this is where I thought was pretty cool. So you have the availability to be able to remove your background without an actual green screen. It's not the best, but let me show you what that looks like. It's called Auto Key. So you select Auto Key, and you'll see it'll do its best to remove my background. It's not the worst, but it's also not nowhere near close to being the best. And then you can kind of adjust it here to make it as good as possible as you can. But for the most part, Auto Key is not the greatest. You also have the ability to do a text cutout, which allows you to be able to also crop out some of the background. You can do a square cutout. It's going to go ahead and bring up the app to settings, and then you want to scroll down to where it says capture and broadcast, and then under broadcast, you want to come to where it says camera. And once you go ahead and press camera, it's going to go ahead and bring up the actual camera. So you can see here that the picture quality is pretty decent. It's not the best, but with proper lighting, you can get it to look pretty good. I'm using 2 lights to be able to go ahead and light myself right now. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the features that you get here. So the initial thing you can do is with the size, you can adjust it to be medium or be small. So you can decide on that. Now, the clipping mask, this is what I thought was pretty cool. So you have the ability to be able to remove your background without an actual green screen. It's not the best, but let me show you what